Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad, thanks. You?
Pretty good. I'm okay. Yeah.
Good. This is really weird. Proper strange. It's
Yeah.
like I don't think I've done any podcast with anyone that's like that I've been a fan of for a while, so it's kind of weird.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Nice. So where to start? We've got a long list of stuff, but I mean, how long have you got? Like, how long?
I maybe like 45 minutes, or is
Yeah.
that cool?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I'm drowning in deadlines.
Yeah, you got lots going on.
I accidentally took on like too much stuff.
Do you say yes to a lot of stuff? I'm like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could probably go longer too. I don't know how long do you normally do your podcast?
I mean, it varies so much. I mean, I've done it.
Yeah.
Everything I've done so far has been in person, so
Yeah.
it's a bit different. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, 45 minutes is fine. Yeah.
Okay, well, it
No
can go
problem.
longer.
We'll
I
see.
don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Where shall I start? I've got so many little ideas and things. I'll start pretty random. Like, what's your favorite season of the year?
Ooh, that's a great question. I love the autumn. I
Yeah.
think something about like the way the weather changes and sort of stirs up all these feelings, and the wind
Yeah.
and the rustling of the trees. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of spooky. I kind of like it.
Yeah, you're into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it
How
get
about-
quite cold where you live then, or is it usually quite warm
Um,
all year round?
Well, I've been kind of bouncing around a lot. So right now I'm actually in Philadelphia, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, it gets cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets really cold here in the UK, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like it when it gets cold like that, but
Yeah.
I like when it's spring into summer and it's sort of 22 degrees. You guys use a different degree system, don't you? But you know what I mean, in the middle, I suppose.
Yeah. What part of the UK do you live in?
I live in Lincolnshire, actually, where you're going for Lost Village.
Oh, nice. Okay,
And I
cool.
didn't know you were playing there. I didn't realise until the other day. So I was like, I could have gone to that. I went to Lost Village
I
5
think
years
I
ago.
did a guest pass if you want to come.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, I think it's really good. It's a really good place to go. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it when I've been. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm excited to play.
Have you played many festivals like that before, or is it usually like gigs at venues?
Yeah, I'm new to festivals. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out right now because I've been playing with a band in the United States, and I love playing with a band so much, but it's too expensive to bring them for all the dates out in the UK.
Yeah,
So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You gotta do it on your own.
I gotta figure out my solo set.
You've done a lot of stuff on your own, haven't you, as well? I've seen things where you've done solo sets. Yeah.
Yeah, something, when you find the perfect band, and it's just hard to imagine going back to being solo.
Do you ever record things as a band then, or do you sort of do a lot of stuff on your own normally? Or
I've never before, but I think I want to try that for the next project, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I know Mind Design's done that, hasn't he, with some of his stuff? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I love that record with the band. It sounds so luscious.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So do you how long have you been doing music for now?
I guess it's been a little while. I got a late start. Like, I started playing music kind of in high school.
Yeah.
But as like in a punk band, and kind of just like yelling and not really playing piano or anything. But then in like college, I was studying science, but I was playing a lot of music. That's when I sort of fell in love with like playing piano, and kind of became like way too obsessed with it. And started like producing and stuff too. So I think that maybe like the past like 10 years.
Yeah. And did you always record the piano, or were you? Because I started out when I did music just recording it straight away. Like the recording was the thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was always kind of recording stuff. And I got this piece of gear like maybe 2014 that it's called like a Roland MV 8800, and I
Yeah,
use it as like my DAW. And
yeah,
I think that's when like my sort of production world lit up in my head, where I just
yeah,
started making a bunch of stuff.
yeah. And why did you pick that? Like, because a lot of people obviously go for like a digital tour. So why did you think, oh, I'm going to go for this?
Well, actually, a friend was getting rid of it and gave it to me for super cheap. And like, I don't know, something kind of clicked. I loved that it wasn't on a computer because
Mm.
I don't know, I don't really like computers so much. I mean, I like them. I still use Logic sometimes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think I get really lost on computers and there's something about the limitations of the MV that like really helps me stay focused on like writing the music versus like the
yeah,
plug-in wormholes, which
yeah.
I'm
Just playing with things. Yeah, like
yeah,
making it sound different. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I struggled with that because I used Ableton a lot, and
yeah,
although I don't use everything that's in there, I tend to sort of mess around with it too much, like you say, and like,
yeah. It's hard to like stay focused.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah. I know a guy who I made a lot of music with my brother actually, and he's like 70 in his 70s now, but he's always like focusing us on the songwriting. Like,
yeah,
I think people
yeah,
of our age are like really keen to like mess around with the sound and like
yeah,
play
sure.
with it. Yeah,
I mean, so many of the DAWs are like it. They're almost set up like toys or games and stuff. Like I
yeah,
don't know. I was messing. This isn't a DAW, but I was messing around with an OP1 the other day, and
yeah,
it's like a game. It's so fun. All the visuals and
yeah.
they make it
Oh,
so.
that's the teenage engineering thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a
which is
game,
awesome.
really.
Like it's so fun that there's all these toys out there.
Yeah,
Uh,
they are so cool. I love
yeah,
playing with new gear. Like it's good
yeah,
fun, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice
yeah,
when you don't know what you're doing, really. Like,
yeah, totally. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So, how did you? What did you know when you like found your own sound, or were you sort of like I don't know? Because you've definitely got like a sound to your music that sounds like you. Um,
Thank you.
did you find that and go, yeah, I can. This is what I'm going to do, or did it take a while, or how did you?
Um, I think that I would say acquiring that MV and sort of finding the palette of sounds that I like to use really helped me hone in on like the sort of sound palette for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Before that, like when I listen to stuff I made before, it's still, I guess some of the stuff I made before the MV, like I have released in it, but it doesn't quite have the same, like, I don't know, I just felt like that really helped me hone in on what I was trying to go for.
yeah,
But it's changing a lot. Like, I feel like the stuff I've been making recently is really different. Um,
yeah,
but I do think that there are a couple sounds and like sort of ways I like to produce things that remain relatively
yeah,
consistent, like the way I record my voice too. I'm trying to get out of it, but I've gotten really into a certain particular way of like layering the vocals
yeah.
um, and like the way I pan them and stuff. I don't know. It's become
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of uh,
Bit of an
sexual.
obsession.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to shift that a little bit.
Do you ever listen to James Blake?
No, I should do that more.
I
The
really
stuff
feel
I
like
heard,
I see a lot of like a comparison there between you guys, like
oh,
especially in
that's
the manipulation between the like sounds and stuff.
mhm.
I love how people will nowadays. It's like more accepted to like manipulate the voice a lot.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because my voice, I don't think I'm necessarily a singer.
No. Your voice. I mean, you've probably been told this before, but like your voice always reminds me of like a sort of like Billie Holiday or something like that. Like
Thank you.
that kind of sound. It's nice.
That's very honored.
Were you like influenced by her when you were younger, or
I definitely listened to her a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think between her and like also when I was really little, like in elementary school, I was obsessed with Bob Marley. But something
Really?
about the way he like phrases things to almost become like, it almost sounds like a horn to me or something, like his
Yeah.
phrasing. And I think I think about that a lot when singing, like just the phrasing of things.
Okay, yeah. I've listened to a bit of Bob Marley, but not loads. I do like Bob Marley. My brother's really into Bob Marley, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like my childhood obsession.
Just into your reggae. How many other people were at school were like into reggae, do you think? Or
I don't know. When I was little, I felt like people were more, or in the world I was in, people were really into like top 40 stuff when I was
yeah.
in elementary school.
Yeah. I wonder if that's different now. I wonder if that's different.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder because there's so much, we have so much access to such different stuff.
I feel like more people now like more stuff, you know, they're like a wider variety of music and things like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's really interesting, like I've been staying with my sister and she's like not very much a music head. She's like she's like really passionate about sports and like just like different passions. And but I think because of like algorithms and just the way we have access to music, sometimes she'll like share with me like the most obscure music, and it's really cool because I know it isn't like an active process for her to like go out and, you know.
But she still hears cool stuff.
Like
surprises you.
It's really cool.
Pops up anywhere, doesn't it? Really. I got really into like at one point. I got really into just sampling, like not sampling, but like just Shazam, that app that like can tell you what music is.
Yeah.
Do that. And wherever I was, mainly like watching a film or just out and about. And I just add it to a playlist, no matter what it was, and then you just end up with some interesting music.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I remember first finding your stuff on SoundCloud.
Oh wow! Oh,
and how long ago was that? It must have been like, I think you'd released both the first two albums that you'd done. I think you'd released both of them. And yeah, I think you had like 2,000 followers on SoundCloud.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I remember finding it.
Fan.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've dipped in and out of like, that's the thing. It's like you know these people are still there over lots of time, but like yeah. I've just obviously recently been like listening to more of your newer stuff, like, and getting really into it. It's cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
The Chapters album is really like quite dark, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, that was a tough album for me.
Yeah, I have a tough time making it.
Yeah, I was in a tough place. A lot of it was kind of songs that I wrote from a place of just self-therapy almost.
Yeah, like I can hear you telling yourself things a bit. Like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I've actually, that album, I feel kind of weird that I put it out because it's so personal. And I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, I can't believe I put that out. But I don't know.
It must feel good at the same time, though, to be sort of so honest.
Yeah, I think it's weird. Like, I'm such a private person, and so it feels weird to have so much access to like my inner thoughts out there. But at the same time, like, it's like there is something really rewarding. Like if ever I hear someone say that like it helped them in any way, like that makes me really happy. I'm like, oh, thank goodness that this like darkness that's consuming me is at least being like somehow helpful. It makes everything better.
Yeah, I think it's good to to express that stuff, and I think people just connect with it more as well. Like it's like I always think of like the Chili Peppers when they did like Under the Bridge, and that was all about his own story, and it's one of the like most popular songs, and he was really nervous before he did it, like, oh, I can't talk about this in my lyrics, but then he did it and it kind of works. So it's
for sure.
It's always abstracted as well, isn't it? Like you sort of mix it in with other things, and
for sure
people can't tell exactly what you're saying.
I do like to keep my lyrics kind of hard to understand.
Yeah. Do you enjoy doing this, like talking on a podcast? I see you've done a few, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I am shy about the fact that I don't feel like a very eloquent person. Like, I think that's why I play music, because I'm better at just making sounds. So sometimes I have a hard time like talking about things in a way that feels clear and the ideas I want to express. But I really enjoy like getting to meet people and hear their like, and connect with people from different places.
Definitely. Yeah,
that part is really special.
That's the whole reason I started doing it, just because I felt like, because I'm like a designer, so I spend a lot of time similar to you, probably like just on your own, like working on stuff. I felt like that side of my life was like lacking a little bit, you know.
Yeah, for sure. What do you design?
I do motorcycle accessories, so it's quite random.
That's really nice.
It's my family's business, so
very cool.
taking it on from my dad and my brother, but it's good fun. Yeah, it's all right.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing podcasts?
Oh, not long. It's like 3 or 4 months.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Not long. Yeah, and I really like it. It's cool. Like it's fun to talk to people and learn things, and I think it makes me like more confident.
For sure. That's cool.
Yeah. How do you feel about confidence? Have you got more confident as you've gotten older and done more music?
Oh, I wish. I don't know. I really struggle with confidence.
Yeah.
I think that, like, actually one of the main reasons I like to make music alone is when I'm in a room with other people, I have like no confidence in my own musical choices.
Really?
So I like don't know how to like function in that environment. But if I'm alone, then I feel like, oh, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. No one's gonna judge me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to work on being more confident. I think I'm like so shy and like not very confident. I think the repetition of playing so many shows helps with like stage fright and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's been really great, like that I've gotten to do it so much now. I feel like more comfortable being on stage. But when I started out, I would get like nauseous. Like I actually would even sometimes yak before I would play. Like I just was so nervous and like get really shaky. And sometimes that still happens. Like on this most recent tour, the very first show we played, I was so nervous I just started shaking and I couldn't play the key.
because it had been a while, I suppose.
Yeah. But with repetition, like it becomes easier, and I have like more rituals now that help me sort of calm down and feel confident. But I don't know if I'll ever be like a super confident like person.
Just doing stuff. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know if I will be either, really, but it certainly helps to sort of practice it, doesn't it? And
yeah, for sure. And it's nice to be around people that sort of like believe in you too. I think that's one thing that I've been noticing is like surrounding yourself with really supportive friends is like really sweet. And like supportive, not even just in the music sense, just like support you as a person.
Yeah, positive about your future sort of thing. And yeah. I mean, that's tricky, isn't it? I think it really helps that because positivity is like, it's so hard to give that to yourself. Sometimes you do need sort of people to tell you things, and I don't know. I feel like I'm quite negative sometimes about myself or just any situation. If I'm in the bad mood, like, it just that's the whole thing. It's yeah, my glasses are falling apart, by the way, as well. Do you think you're like generally like a positive person?
I think I am pretty positive, but very negative toward myself. Like, I think I have a lot of self-criticism, and but like when it comes to other people and situations, like, I do feel like in general pretty positive about it, but if I'm ever like alone, I can quickly like kind of spiral and be really I have a lot of negative self-talk. But I don't know, like, it's also what drives me to work hard and like create and stuff. So it's complicated. I'd love to be less hard on myself, but it's also like, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah, you need a bit of that. You need a bit of struggle, I suppose, like for a fulfilling existence, I guess. Like. Yeah. I was listening to something the other day, and they were on Radio 4 in the UK, and they were saying it was like a 15-minute piece on like how our lives are generally like a lot more automated now and like easy, and that kind of leaves us feeling a little bit like, I don't know, like we like, you know, maybe it is linked to things like mental health issues and things like that. Like, you do need a little bit of that, like a bit of a tough time sometimes to make you realize what's good. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I've noticed like the difference in my mental health while touring and during when I'm like producing and at home is like really interesting, because I think when you're on tour, you're like, you have a lot of external stimuli and like you kind of just have it like places to be, and your day is really mapped out, and there's a lot of structure. Versus like when I have, say, like, a week to make a couple tracks, and it's just me and my brain, and and like it's just a different, super different environments. And I think that's what's so like tricky about the music world, is like you have like these two opposite kind of environments that you exist in, and it's hard to find that balance.
They're very different, aren't they? And I think a lot of artists tend to like lean into one as they go on. They like want to do more in the studio, or they want to do more live. I went to see the Arctic Monkeys recently, and I just thought, I really love the Arctic Monkeys, and I love their most recent stuff. I think it's really cool. And I feel like I'm not, you know, speaking on his behalf, but I feel like the front man for like the Arctic Monkeys wants to do. He's more interested in the sort of the studio stuff now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And it comes across, I think. But and you know, their music's got like way more abstract and sort of strange, and that turns a lot of people off. But for me, it was like, oh, this is just getting better and better. You know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I've always been the kind of person that wants to do more studio stuff, but until this very last tour I was on, because I think I finally found like the musicians that like I really want to play with, and the sort of like energy and excitement of like playing the songs live and reimagining the songs, like it was so inspiring. And I was like, oh, now I just want to tour this music all the time. But I've never been that person before. I've always been like, oh, get me home, I need to make music.
Do you guys like change it up quite a lot then live? You change the sound of it, or
a little bit? Yeah, I mean, like, it's just so cool it's basically a band of some of my favorite producers and like solo artists. So they bring so much of their own creativity to the table, and they have such a great like sonic palette. And so getting to like, it was such a treat to get to play with musicians that I like really admired, and it just, songs took on a whole new shape. But it was still like playing all the parts, but just something about it was really special.
Yeah, a bit different. Yeah, I imagine it's fun when they just sort of they take their own path with it, and you can sort of you all react on each other's like changes there. Yeah, that's good fun. Yeah, I've not done enough of that. I think it's really good fun playing live. My brother played live a lot, and he said it was like the most fun he had. It was just like being on stage and jamming basically.
Yeah, it's super fun. I find it really fun with the band. Solo, it's I have a harder time with it because there's a lot. I don't know if I'm like really trying to be the center of attention like that. So it just feels so weird when it's like all eyes on you and you're like, look away.
Too much pressure. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I don't know. I've never tried it. What do you? I ask everyone this. What's you've got the past and the present and the future. Which one do you think about the most?
I don't know. That's a great question. I honestly think all three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're quite a broad spectrum between the three, do you think? Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll, have those nights where you're just running over scenes in the past, stressing. And then sometimes I'm like fully caught up in like the things I have to do in the current moment.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm just dreaming about future. So,
I
I don't know if there's anyone that like is the most prevailing. What about you?
What about me? I think I'm generally quite present, really.
Yeah.
I think don't think I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? I don't think about answering these questions myself.
Sorry.
I just think about asking it. No, it's fine to ask me. Probably think about the future quite a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of work, like my work and my job. I think about the future all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't tend to think about the past that much. But I listen to I listen to a lot of my old music. I went through a phase of listening to it quite a lot, and I thought about the past quite a lot through that time. I don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it? It's people. I find it's quite interesting because people who are a bit younger tend to think more about the future, and people who are a bit older tend to think about the past.
Yeah.
And they've done their thing, so they're thinking about what they did, I suppose.
Yeah. Feel that.
Yeah. What can I say? What can I say now? I've got this list of stuff, and it's just like, well, I don't organize it into like what I'm going to ask you first. I kind of just go through it. And
that's cool. I like that.
Pick through it. Do you listen to any other podcasts?
I really should. The only podcast I've really listened to is the Blind Boy podcast.
Right.
But other than that, like I've been so bad at listening to podcasts, and it's something I've been meaning to do, but I have to admit I listen to so much music. Like anytime I'm like gonna listen to something, it's usually music, but I'd love to have more like interesting thoughts and ideas to pick up or to like expand my brain.
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it? I sort of mix between the both, I suppose. What kind of do you listen to? Like, do you like constantly listen to new music, or do you like new to you?
It depends. Like sometimes new music to me. Sometimes I just sesh the same stuff over and over again. But like usually it'll be like a sort of new artist to me, whether they're from this contemporary or the past, and then just listen to an album over and over.
Yeah, get obsessed with some artists. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I've started. I think the best way to for me to find new music is, I think you've been on NTS before, haven't you?
Yeah.
radio thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love listening to that for new music, because it's just like got
Yeah.
no choice but to hear something new, basically.
Yeah, totally, totally.
I think I've heard like 2 songs on there before, but I actually know, and it's just like the rest of it's just new.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Do you have like a what was I going to say? Oh yeah, what's your I know you like really love Stereolab.
Um, it's
What's your favorite thing about them? What's the core thing that you like about them?
I think, man, it's been so long since I listened to Stereolab. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, the thing that I became obsessed with when I first heard them was the way that they layer like melodic ideas.
Yeah.
Like I found that it was so perfect. It was like the perfect amount of layers, the perfect amount of musical information. Like
Yeah.
there's little things to latch onto, and it's so like cleverly like arranged, and I just love, like, I took so much inspiration from that.
Yeah.
Like I love the melodic ideas.
Yeah. So do you mean like I suppose you can have too many melodies at once, can't you, really? So it's
Yeah,
kind of
totally. And that's something I think I struggle with, is like I put too much information into one song, and I think Stereolab is so good at like just having the perfect amount of music information.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it can definitely get too much, can't it? And then
Yeah.
my dad's always said to me, like, your songs are so like, and the stuff I listen to, it's just like so much going on all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I suppose it's like I suppose it's kind of like the it's just like a reflection of the technology, isn't it? And like the access.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I think it's really cool to have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally super cool. But yeah, I remember my grandpa's was from Slovakia, and so I'm just gonna use his accent, but he would he would always be like, "Where is the melody?" Like, and it's interesting. Like I do think that sometimes I get a little lost, and the melody is really like important.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all that. Yeah, a lot of like my own music was just like just like self-indulgence, I suppose. Like, I really liked Aphex Twin.
Yeah.
I was really into that when I was young, so it's just like it's just throw everything at it, sort of thing. Yeah. Do you feel, I guess it's a bit of a reference to your I think it's your second album, I can't remember now. Do you still feel like your albums are just peanuts?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah, really.
I was just reflecting the other day. I heard a couple songs from this album I just put out, and I was like, man, I gotta get my stuff together. Like I need to. It just like my old music to me. Like I appreciate it, but I still feel like such a baby, and that like I have so much work to do to get to where I want to get to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll always feel that way.
Oh man, but I love stuff that sounds I don't know how many people are like this, but I love stuff that sounds unprofessional in a way, like or lo-fi. Like it's just,
sure.
I don't know what it is. It just adds character in a way. Like
Yeah.
I think your sound has got more professional as it's gone along. Like it sounds more professional. And in a way, I personally kind of like the older, like a bit broken sound, like a little bit like this track's mixed like this, and then the next one's like this. And
I
love that.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like with all of my favorite artists, I feel like I like their like old, like lo-fi stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like
yeah,
and like alternate takes and things like that.
Yeah, totally. The demos.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how fun that is when you've listened to something for so long and then they release demos or something like that.
Oh, there's this like Stereolab demo tape. It's like Electrolution or something. It's so good. I love that so much.
I'll have a look for that. Okay, nice. Yeah, I don't know a lot of their music. I've listened to a bit. I know there's one big tune that I know really well. I can't remember which one it is now. Can't remember what it is, but yeah, I'll look for that. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Is being a musician what you thought it would be like?
That's interesting. I never thought I would actually get to be a musician, to be honest, because I was doing science and like, I don't know, I feel like not a real musician because I never studied it or like grew up playing it. So I've always kind of been like, is this really happening right now?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I
Maybe you
think,
didn't have an expectation of it.
yeah, I'm not sure if I knew really what it meant to be a musician. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I think the thing that like I love is that it's just always challenging and like always there's always something more to learn and achieve and get
Yeah.
better at, and so I'm never bored, which I really like.
Yeah.
But it is very emotional and very emotionally draining in a lot of ways because I think
Mm.
the creative process for me like is tied to like long periods of isolation and just like kind of going deep into my brain, and that part like kind of freaks me out. Like the last album I made, I was like, it got so intense, and there were moments where I like felt like my sanity was almost on the line, and I'm just like trying to figure out how to stay a little bit more mentally healthy but also create, because it's like at what cost do you make music? I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's part of it, though, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's part of the experience and the output
yeah,
as well. Like, it kind of, I suppose, it kind of adds to it if like you're in a bit of a dark place or you're in a really happy place or something. Like,
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm trying to. Sometimes I fantasize about like I really love old people, and I just am like maybe I should just work with old people and make music for fun, like only
yeah,
because the the industry I think is like can be really dark and like really like
yeah.
a lot of people in the industry, not to be like um hello um not to be um I don't know, it just feels like some of the cogs in the what am I trying to say? I don't know, I got distracted.
Well, I suppose what you're saying, like you had a job where you were like with working with older people, like you're saying, there's plenty of room for that. I think there's not
Yeah,
many people doing that.
yeah,
Um,
for sure, for sure.
you just get like a more consistent um, stream of like satisfaction for helping people, wouldn't you? Like, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the maybe what I was trying to say is the like industry sort of I guess certain parts of it they're trying to make money, so they kind of can push you to
yeah,
like sell yourself in a way that feels like the antithesis of like what making music really means. And
yeah,
so like that part feels really like dark and not genuine to me. And
yeah,
so like that's why like the fantasy about working with old people, it's just something like just genuinely like kind.
yeah,
Versus like some parts of the industry just feel really unkind. It's like you're
yeah,
trying to like get like followers and fame and like all that stuff just feels so wrong. I don't know.
yeah. I know what you
And
mean.
like I get that like you need to make a living. So it's like it's just complicated. I have like a really weird relationship with like that kind of part of the
I suppose it's capitalism, really, isn't it? It is a
yeah,
strange one. Yeah, I know what you mean. I struggle with that as well. Like,
yeah,
it's I don't like it when we like in the business I work for. Like, I don't like it when we talk too much about the money side of it, and do you know what I mean?
yeah, Yeah.
As long as we're doing okay and we've got enough, it's all that matters, really, isn't it? As long as you're sort of enjoying yourself and people around you and having a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
Yeah. What's your number one worry? You might not want to say, but I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good question. In the music world, I worry that I wouldn't be genuine, or like I'd make something that isn't genuine.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to ever do that.
No.
In life, I worry that I'm gonna die alone.
Oh, really? Do you have trouble with like relationships and things, or?
I think I'm just going through a breakup right now. But
Oh,
I
okay.
think the thing that like I worry about is, I think being a musician is like really weird in terms of dating, because I'm like obsessed with making music, and then
Yeah.
how do you have a healthy I just don't know how. I worry that like I'm just not gonna ever be able to have what in my head is like a healthy relationship.
Yeah. I suppose it's tricky, that, isn't it? Because you've got no one to tell you when to stop, so you kind of like just carry on, and you might be eating into all the time that you should be spending on other things. Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Relationships are hard for everyone, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that, really. It's so difficult, but I think it's
Love is a battlefield.
yeah, love's crazy, isn't it? Love's mad. Yeah, can't even describe it. When do you go on tour then? Are you sort of, have you just sort of finished the tour and you're starting another one, or is it sort of in the middle of it? Or?
I just finished a tour, and I'm gonna be out in London this summer. I have a bunch of shows out there.
Yeah.
And so I'm leaving in like 2 weeks to go out to like Europe to do some stuff, but it's kind of spread out. And yeah, so I have 2 weeks to finish all of my sort of production deadlines.
Yeah. You're looking forward to like traveling, because you're coming to the UK, aren't you, and Europe as well?
Yeah, I'm excited. Right now I'm a little anxious because I don't have any like of my lodging sorted out. So I'm more in like, how did I leave everything to the last minute? Like,
I saw that you were looking for somewhere in London. I've got a few friends in London. Maybe I can find one for you. I don't know.
Right now just like getting everything together, like, but I am really excited to travel, and I feel like super lucky to be able to do it. That's like a huge blessing.
Yeah. So do you travel with other people on Brainfeeder as well then? Or do you kind of...
This trip I'm going completely alone.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I usually travel alone, like, because there's not much budget for anybody else.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? It's crazy how like I suppose how like spread out the music industry is now. Every industry really, like so many people in every industry, isn't there? Like especially creative stuff. Like,
for sure.
It's broad, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's nice for collaboration and things though. Do you think you'll do like I know you've done like little bits of collaboration. Did some stuff with Chief Lee, didn't you? He's done a lot of stuff on your music. Do you want to do more of that? Like you said, you wanted to do a live out, like an album with a band. But...
Yeah, I want to do a lot more collabs. I think I'm interested in producing for other people and just sort of going more into that direction of like collab production.
Yeah, I heard that you said recently that you're doing some remixing, and like that was really fun. What's fun about doing a remix? Like, what do you like about it?
It's really fun. Yeah, it's just fun to like instead of starting something from scratch, you have like someone else's like story, and then you get to sort of reharmonize, and
Yeah.
it's really fun. It's a fun exercise.
Do you find it like, I've done a little bit of that in the past, and I find it quite, it's easier to love the sounds because you didn't make them to begin with.
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah.
You can be a bit more like proud of what you do to it. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really enjoy that. And it's also like a way to compose and release something, not an album cycle. Because I think like now being on a label, you like, if you want to release something, you have to like talk to the label and be like, and they usually want it to be a part of an album. So it can't just like, it's not SoundCloud days where I could just put something out and
just chuck it out there.
Yeah, but with remixes, you know, it's like a way to compose. Like,
can you not do that then? You can't just post anything. Like you have to speak to them before you post something, or
I can't release anything unless I talk to them. Yeah.
Really? Wow. I didn't know that's how it worked.
Yeah, I think if you have like an exclusive contract, I think all kinds of contracts are different, but the one I have is like, if I want to release something, I have to talk to them first. Like even remixes, but like just gotta get the approval. But if I can't just kind of drop a single out of the blue. We want it to be like part of a full album, so
I'll ask you what you're doing. What do you think? You ever thought much about artificial intelligence and AI? Obviously, it's changing quite a lot at the moment.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Is it a bit scary as well, or do you find it sort of exciting, or what do you think about it?
I find it scary for the most part, but also like really interesting, and like I don't know, there's so many possibilities of how things could play out, and it does seem like we're kind of just on a ship that's moving, and it's gonna, like, we've gone too far. So, I don't know, like one can like dwell on the like negative possibilities, but there also could be some positive possibilities too. But I think it is quite terrifying, just in the sense that like the human influence and the people who want power, like if they're involved in certain ways, it can be really dangerous.
I think one of the things that scares me about it is like it's like the potential for like fake information, and like it's crazy, isn't it? And you think that could get really out of control, I suppose, but
I feel like it already is.
It is really. It already is really in a lot of ways. And it's like people are constantly asking like, why is this actually genuine? You got people like fighting about it on the internet, but it's crazy. It's an interesting subject. It certainly interests me, and like, I don't know, it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out, I suppose. Who knows? Are you okay for time?
Oh yeah, for sure.
We should do a little bit longer. What do you what was it? Oh yeah, I thought I'd tell you about, I remember listening to Wings of Steel, one of your tunes.
And
I was like, oh yeah, I love this tune. I put that album on to go on a plane. And then that song came on, and I had to skip it because it freaked me out.
Oh no!
Oh, the wings are too heavy. That means this plane's gonna crash, and I'm gonna die.
I'm sorry. That's hilarious.
I just remember I told my girlfriend about it the other day, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you should tell her that." I was like,
That's
"Really?"
hilarious. Oh yeah, definitely. I should put a disclaimer. Don't listen to this.
Don't listen to this. Yeah. I used to love listening to that album on a plane. There, I listened to it a few times on that plane. It's very relaxing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
What else have I got here? So have a quick look. Have you got any hobbies aside from music that you do?
Ooh, that's something I really want to work on. I mean, I love like walking in nature and reading and stuff, but I don't have any like concrete hobbies.
Mm.
I kind of wanted to join like an improv team.
Yeah.
Or like do something. But I've become so music obsessed, and it's actually something I'm trying to work on, is like defining myself outside of music, because it can be just so all encompassing, honestly. Like
Yeah.
there's never really a concrete end to the day, and I'm always like, oh, I could go out and hang out with friends, or I could try to write a song.
Yeah, yeah. There's always that battle in your head. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's hard to do things. I suppose some people, like for me, I find it hard to just do things for the fun of it sometimes.
yeah,
I like there to be like I like it to be like a project or like a,
yeah, totally. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
it's a bit of a pain sometimes.
Mhm.
What's your favorite piece of gear that you use when you play live? Like, what's
Oh,
you're mainly keyboard, aren't you, when you play live?
yeah. Well, I do use the MV Live, but
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, I use that to loop and for all the sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's probably my main piece of gear. But I just got an Arturia Mini Freak, and I love it so much.
Oh, really? Yeah. They're
It's
pretty
so
cool, aren't they?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. So
I think
yeah,
I had something like that. What did I have? Oh, I had like a Novation bass thing. Yeah. It's quite similar.
oh,
I think,
cool.
so you can
Yeah,
make some wacky sounds with that.
yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Um, what else have I got on here? This is why I should organize the questions. Um, how do you try to limit your impact on the environment? And
That's a really good question. And that is something I feel really horrible about, because I fly so much
yeah,
and it's feels really bad. And sometimes I'm like, I should just stop touring because it's
yeah,
so bad. But I guess I try never to waste food, and I
yeah,
try to like be as like conscious of like fast fashion and stuff like that as I can. But
yeah,
in general, like I don't think I do a very good job of like, just because of the travel.
yeah,
I'm not really sure how to get around that, except to like just stop playing shows in other places. But there's so much travel in music, and it's like
yeah,
the other day we played a one-off show in Omaha. It was like we flew, like I think because there were connecting flights. It was like 4 flights for one show. You know what I mean? And it was
really,
like, so
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's like I have to really be more selective, but it's hard because touring is like my main source of income as well. So I don't know.
hard for a lot of people, I think. Yeah, my dad is like decided he's like 67. He's like decided now that he's not going to fly anymore, and
Yeah,
it's really like annoying his wife. And
yeah,
like, and it's kind of like it's such a tricky thing. It's quite like a bold statement to say that you're not going to fly.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
and
Yeah,
obviously, like when people get older, like a lot of people want to like fly and travel to places that they've
yeah,
never been, and yeah, it's awkward. But I like respect it because I think more people
yeah,
have to think like that,
for
and
sure, for sure.
it's important. But
It is.
I
Yeah,
thought that would be a contradiction for you. Like when I thought about that, I thought, yeah, that must be quite strange. Like, I don't know.
yeah. It feels really weird. There's a lot of hypocrisy in the music world.
Yeah. Um, this is a bit of a random one, but what's your earliest memory?
Mm, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Never thought about
I've got like an earliest memory of like playing with a Hot Wheels thing, but I don't even know if it is my earliest memory.
that. Yeah, that's a really good question. No, I honestly have no idea. I have very few memories of my childhood, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. Have you got a bad memory in general, do you think?
I think so. I have like a really great like short-term memory, and then my long-term memory is just ridiculously bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always amazed by that when I speak to people. It's just like, how do you remember that? It's just like, just immediately like put my hands up. Like, I don't know when that was. Tell me exactly when that was. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one, really. I suppose I'll just ask you my last question then, really. What's the meaning of life to you, Lindsay?
Wow, what a question. Wow, interesting. This is gonna sound so cheesy, but I genuinely believe it. I think it is to love. I don't know. Like to love, not just like romantic love, but like love other humans and spread love. And
Yeah.
I know that sounds so cheesy, but
True though, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's up there for most people. Yeah. Caring for others is important, isn't it? Like, it's an interesting question because like there's so many ways of answering it. Like, I think it generally comes back to that. Like, yeah. This has been really good. I really enjoyed it. I felt very nervous before I did it, but
no, it's so nice chatting with you.
Yeah, it's nice to speak to you. Yeah. Thanks very much. And is there anything you want to say that before we finish? I suppose you're playing live, so people can check out your tickets.
Some shows, and hopefully gonna drop some new music soon.
Yeah, you got a bit of new music coming.
Yeah.
Nice. I look forward to listening to it. Yeah, it'd be great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lindsay. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Cheers.
Bye.